and things just go from crazy to crazier to bonkers to insane. So she loved it. Lynn Lowry, she says, I'm in, you know, and that the rest of history. She came.
Oi, gente, aqui é Jana N Nagase, do seu Jana On Camera, e hoje eu tenho o prazer de estar conversando com um ator, diretor, produtor, tudo brasileiro, todas as funções brasileiro.
Guile Branco.
Um prazer ter você aqui. Obrigada, Guile. Tudo bem?
Obrigado. E são muitos chapéus, né? Que eles falam, many hats, a gente fala aqui nos Estados Unidos, né? Eu fiz muita coisa. É um prazer de estar aqui com você. Tô bem animado de falar sobre o meu filme.
Exatamente. É a Halloween Fest. Now we're
Inclusive no Brasil, a gente teve uma estreia mundial e a gente chamou o filme de Um Banquete de Halloween.
Ah, que legal! E foi lá no festival, né?
Fantaspoa, isso,
Fantaspoa,
em Porto Alegre. É isso,
Porto Alegre.
Estive lá em abril, foi muito legal.
Olha,
E, inclusive, eu tô aí vendo se a gente arruma uma distribuição no Brasil, né? E aí vai ser um banquete de Halloween. Né?
Com certeza, muito bom. Agora a gente vai mudar para inglês porque acho que fica mais fácil da gente se comunicar. Então,
sounds
Guile,
great to me.
Yes, Guile, I watched the movie. I thought it was like there's some crazy stuff there, very inspiring stuff, very practical stuff. So, but I want to know, like, from the beginning, what was like the inspiration for the script? Because you co-wrote with Arthur, right? So
Arthur
how
McClen,
was like the inspiration for it?
So the screenplay for this film started over 15 years ago, and it was a short story. And around 2008, I first wrote the first feature film version. It was a 6-page, and then I had a full feature film. And the inspiration was the movie Crash. Do you know the movie Crash, Paul Haggis?
Yes.
Where you have many different lives. And it's an ensemble cast, which means that we don't have only one main actor. Sure, you can say that the mother who goes crazy, you could say she's the lead. However, if you look at the cast, everybody is very important. And every single action by any of the characters creates a ripple effect. And it really brings, how can I say this, consequence, this chain reaction of events, which is exactly what the movie Crash did. I wanted to write something that was horror inspired because I'm a big fan of Stanley Kubrick. The Shining is one of my favorite movies ever made. So how do I combine The Shining with Airplane? Not a good comparison because Airplane is crazy comedy, but I wanted to bring a balance between horror and comedy in the same film. And a lot of people ask me, how do you find that balance? And what I say is by working on the script. The screenplay is the backbone of everything. So I really believe that this script needs to be perfect before you actually go out there and film it. But perfection also is a problem because if nothing is ever perfect.
Exactly. I was about to say that.
Nothing is ever perfect. So you have to abandon it. What I mean is you work on it. I worked on it for many years, over 10 years. And you have to reach a point in which you say, okay, it's good enough. Because if you're a perfectionist, sometimes you never accomplish anything because you just wait forever for something to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But anyways, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that you really need to work on the screenplay and you really need to make sure it's tight and it works as a movie before you go ahead. So my inspiration was Stanley Kubrick, was a serial mom with Kathleen Turner, which is a mother who goes crazy, Harold and Maude, which is also a very, very famous dark comedy. So all these elements are together. I feel like my movie is like you take all these elements of relationships and insanity and witchcraft, cannibalism, and blood and horror, and you just put it in a blender and you just blend it all together.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's amazing. I was impressed how much practical effects you guys using
Mhm.
over there. I think pretty much is I think 100% of the movie is practical effects. How
Exactly.
how was like the challenge to have that type of effects on set? You know what I mean?
Very
Because by
challenging.
yeah,
Yep, very challenging because nowadays a lot of filmmakers rely on CGI. It's very easy. Anybody can get fake blood on a computer. I mean, there's so many ways you can do that these days. Well, I'm a fan of like the old style movies from the 80s, like the where you actually have actual blood spurting everywhere. So the challenges are hiring the right people. You have to hire people who know what they're doing. So I had a great makeup artist, special effects artist, and I also worked with a company called Funko Studios, which helped design some of the effects. So I knew what I wanted the effects to be, and I worked with these professionals to realize them. For example, cutting the finger, how to make it just perfect looking and not fake looking. How do I make it the most realistic possible? And I feel like I we did well.
yeah, we did like not spoiling too much, but there's like some fingers, some heads. They're very, very
Yes,
realistic
yes,
over
yeah.
there on the movie. So, and especially the blood part is very, very realistic. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. One thing I have to say is the team is very important. When you're making a movie, okay, making a movie is one of the biggest collaboration efforts you can imagine as a form of art, because you have a writer who writes, then you bring it to your team, and somebody is filming. So this person has to be really good at filming and know the camera and everything, and the sound and the light and everything. And then you have when you make a movie like mine, like A Halloween Feast, then you need people who know how to handle blood and gore and all that stuff. And you combine all those elements, and then I feel like if people ask me how to actually make a movie that works, it's having the best collaboration. You have to have everybody working together, and everything has to match, basically.
exactly. The cast is also amazing,
Thank you,
but Lynn
Lynn
Lowry, oh my
Lowry.
God, amazing, amazing. How excited was like for you to be working with her, and when you sent the script to her, how was her reaction?
I'll tell you. So, Lynn Lowry, as you know, but maybe the audience should know about this. Lynn Lowry is a legendary horror actress. A lot of people don't know her because she's not mainstream, but she's done over 40 movies with very reputable directors in the horror genre. She worked with, in the 1970s, she worked with David Cronenberg, movie Shivers, George Romero. There's so many movies that she did early on. She has a career of over 40 years. I'm gonna say I said 40 movies. No, she did hundreds of movies. Uh, it's funny. I was starting the process of putting together the resources to make this movie, and I knew somebody who knew somebody who worked with her. And I was trying to find somebody who was somewhat of a name because we all know it's very hard to sell a project once if it's a low budget, independent film,
Yeah,
it's very hard to get it out there. And I was told, obviously, we all know the best way is you get somebody there who is recognizable, that people will be interested in seeing. So Lynn Lowry came like that. And I was given her phone number. So I sent her the script. And to be honest with you, I didn't know that she was going to say yes. So I actually wrote a small part for her because I felt maybe because obviously we were filming for 3 weeks and we didn't have a lot of money to pay her for 3 weeks. So I wrote a 1 day role and I said, Lynn, if we cannot pay you more than this much, okay? And I can give you, a percentage of the film if the movie makes money. Uh, but you have to be here for 3 weeks to film this lead part. Or, I can get you a 1 day part. I'll still fly you. She lives in Atlanta. I'll get you here, I'll get your hotel, everything. And she read the script and she said, I want to play the lead.
Wow, that's great.
Because she saw the value in it. And that goes back to the writing. I think she could see that was a special screenplay in which she could explore and go crazy, because as you know, she goes really crazy.
She
but you
goes
see,
really crazy. I was like, oh my God, is she crazy? And then the other mother in the movie is also crazy. I'm like, oh my God,
yeah.
some crazy people.
But you see, for an actor to be given the opportunity to just do all those things that you see in the movie is rare. I mean, it's a very rare thing. Like, it's a lead role in which you go from you're a mother, you're going through a mental breakdown, and you have all this stuff that you do, and and then you become a serial killer. And things just go from crazy to crazier to bonkers to insane. So she loved it. Lynn Lowry, she says, I'm in, and that the rest is history. She came, and I was very nervous because, like, almost everybody in the cast is a friend of mine that I've known for, I'm gonna say, sometimes 10 years in LA. So they're people I trust, and I talk to on, all the time. So Lynn was kind of like the new element. I have this celebrity coming, and I hope that she's nice.
Yeah.
And guess what? She was the nicest. She was wonderful to work with. It was nothing but happiness. We had a very happy, even though the movie is not very happy, as you know.
Yeah.
It's a little insane.
No, but I'm glad that she was in, you know what I mean? Usually the most famous one are the nicest ones
Hmm.
sometimes, and I think she saw value on the script, and
She
that's why
did.
she was like, I'm in. So
She did, and she was so happy when she saw the film for the first time. And I in our premiere, we had a premiere in Los Angeles a few weeks ago, and one of her family members gave me the best compliment I could ever get. She said that your movie is the favorite movie that my sister is in. And
amazing.
that's just like crazy to me that she would say something like that. But it just shows that I think a Halloween Feast became better than I imagined it was going to become, because we had so many challenges. And we all know it's low budget filmmaking. Things happen. We all have roadblocks and lack of funds to do everything that you want to do, or we had a very specific budget, a very specific 19 days to film the movie. That's it. And we were also right after COVID.
Oh my
So
God.
imagine
Worst.
the fear of somebody getting COVID and stopping the filming, and which actually happened. But I'll tell you what. Since we're in this thing, one of the things that happened was we filmed. We had maybe 3 days left to finish filming the movie, and we had a party scene. And one of the actors, amazing actor Jackson, who plays the brother Stuart, he was supposed to be in the party scene in the end, and then he calls me and he says, "I got COVID."
Oh,
And I had to make, it was a very difficult decision, because first I'm like thinking, okay, if we stop now, I have this bar with 40 background people, and everything, it's the most complex filming and everything's organized. If I skip this day, these 2 days, I may not be able to finish the movie,
yeah.
or we'll have to wait 6 months, who knows. I had to rewrite the script without him.
Wow.
And the day before we filmed, and it worked. A lot of people tell me that it actually worked better than the original screenplay, because I know this is all a bit of inside information for who saw the movie, but by doing that, I was able to make the daughter, Karen, played
Mhm.
by the very talented Julia Coulter, a stronger character because of the choices that she had to make in that scene. But that's what I'm saying. This is just one of the examples of like last minute situations in which we just have to
Yeah.
figure out,
No, especially like in indie movies, like in all
Mhm.
these projects, they're more like low budget, and you need to
Mhm.
do like you need to have jogo de cintura
Jogo de cintura.
all the time.
You know what's funny is I try to translate that into English. What is jogo de
It's
cintura?
very difficult.
I was in Brazil doing some interviews when we had the world premiere in Porto Alegre, and I had such a hard time because I've been here for so long. Sometimes the words don't come right away,
No,
and I wanted to say jogo de cintura one time. I'm just saying we're flexible.
yeah,
We find ways to get things done. You know what I mean?
yeah, mas a gente tem, the Brazilians has this jogo de cintura and
Yes.
nobody else has it. I'm gonna tell you, we do magic. I don't know what to do. Miracles, actually, not magic. We do miracles.
Oh my God. And talking about situations that happen when you're filming a movie, don't have a lot of resources. The main house that we filmed for 12 days was an Airbnb that I rented. And the owners knew that it was for filming, and they said, "Oh, we'll welcome filmmakers in our house."
Okay.
And long story short, I have a very bad review on Airbnb because, you know, of course, when you have 30 people inside the house to set up lights and doing, filming a movie, we had blood splattering on the walls and stuff like that. We had to repaint the walls and all that. It was a lot of work. There is a certain damage, and they didn't expect that for some reason. And I was just like, this is non-negotiable. If you have a house and you have a crew of 30 people come to film, there will be damage.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Regardless, yeah.
And we'll pay for it. I mean, we had the budget to pay for it, but they were so upset. They wrote me a horrible review on Airbnb. So now I have to use my wife's Airbnb if I go somewhere. See,
Okay. Yeah. Don't rent a house for Guile Blanco.
to film a movie.
No.
Branco,
Branco.
BRNCO.
Oh, sorry. Blanco,
It's okay.
no.
It's okay.
I don't know. For some reason, I wrote Blanco. I'm sorry.
It's
It's
all right.
Branco. Sorry.
Branco.
Let me ask you something.
Of
The
course.
house that you filmed, the family is different from the house that the other character, Asia, is on it. Those are two different houses or the same house?
Out in different houses. The main house was a house in East LA. We did an Airbnb, and Asia Goth Girl House, which actually has something very interesting in the living room. Do you remember what it is?
Oh, the coffin, caixão.
That's actually my living room.
Oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, that's crazy.
So that is my living room.
Okay.
And my wife built this coffin. She builds things, and she works with
that's amazing.
welding and also woodworking. And she built it many years ago, and it was just very convenient that I had a crazy movie that was
that
I was going to film. Yes.
It's
Yes.
amazing. I love it. I love
Yes.
it. That's good. That's good.
So we do have a coffin in our living room, and we use it as storage.
Okay.
Or we put our feet up to watch TV.
That's good. That's good. It's the coffee table.
It's a coffin table.
A coffee table, exactly. So that's amazing. Like I like that. And also I also love the choice that is switched the name of Alexa to Ricardo.
To Ricardo. Ricardo. Yeah.
Ricardo. So
I always loved the name Ricardo. My mother's brother was Ricardo, and I feel like there's a certain like sexiness to it. Ricardo. It's just that thing of like Ricardo. Yes.
I know. And you mentioned already about the challenges and the effects, and for you as a Brazilian actor, filmmaker, what do you see like our representation here in Hollywood? What do you think about that?
I think we need more representation. I think some Brazilian actors are able to shine, and we see that with Wagner Moura, Obviously one of the first ones to really shine, Kiss of the Spider-Woman. Oh my God, her name just like skipped from my head.
Sonia Braga?
Sonia Braga, yes, Sonia Braga. She was like one of the first ones who became so successful, like in the more modern era of cinema. And nowadays we have a group of Brazilians who are actually working in Hollywood and doing really well. And I think that's fantastic, because Hollywood, I feel like things are getting a bit more interesting for immigrants right now. I think we do have more Mexican actors and Brazilian actors and from other ethnicities who are being part of the industry. I feel like it is hard to compete because we still don't see a lot of specific roles for Brazilians per se. I have to say, as an actor, just auditioning and trying to work in other people's projects, I do better if I just say I'm French or Italian, or because you have more of those roles available. So I just do like a French accent. Très bien. Oh,
Yeah.
c'est quoi ça? C'est fantastique. It's terrible now, but I used to be good 10 years ago.
Yeah. Je ne parle pas français.
Mon français, c'est pauvre. Oh.
No.
But I feel like, like you say, jogo de cintura. Acho que o brasileiro tem esse jogo de cintura. Eu acho que when they come here, they find a way, and I feel like the same thing happened to me. I've been here for so many years, and I worked on a lot of independent films and things like that. And you just find a way to find your place. But it is not easy, because you have to think about how you're going to support yourself. What are you trying? I didn't come from any sort of wealth. I came basically with no money. And a trivia about my film, A Halloween Feast, is that I tried to make it in 2011.
Oh my God.
That is 13 years ago.
Yeah.
I tried to make it then, and it didn't work because I realized I didn't have the resources and the friendships and to make the movie. And I'm thankful that I didn't make it, because in the decade after, the 10 years plus after, I kept working on the screenplay and making improvements to the shape that it took now for me to make the movie. But it just shows you that a lot of people believe in the overnight success. You come and be successful. It could happen. I mean, I feel like a lot of people come to the US, and sometimes somebody tells them to talk to Guile. I go, okay. And they don't want to hear, a lot of people don't want to hear about that, because I was one who didn't want to hear about that. When I moved to New York I was in early 20s, I didn't want to hear about the difficulties. I wanted just to make it work.
Yeah.
And then you realize that it just takes time. Some people get lucky, absolutely. And that's great. But most people, it takes years of just developing relationships and meeting the right people. This is the only reason A Halloween Feast worked. It's because I used my house. Sure, I rented a house for the family that I told you about, but I used 3 other places that were from friends of mine.
Yeah.
So they were free, On the same token, a lot of people worked for free because they wanted to help. So I didn't have to spend all that money. I was able to make deals with people, for most of the actors and also people behind the cameras, they had never worked in a full-length feature film. And because it was their first time, they were very passionate about it and they wanted to be part of it. So I was able to, we don't have the money to pay you, but we'll do a contract that if this makes money, you get paid later on. And I really hope it happens. So knock on wood.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So basically, I was only able to make the film now is because of my, 20 years in the US. Developing these relationships. One example is my editor. My editor, who also did some of the special effects. I met him, I think it was the year after I moved to the US. I was in New York. This was 2003. And I was working on an independent feature film in New Jersey, and he was a director. And now, 20 years later, he is an award-winning editor. And so, of course, I mean, he helped me so much with the movie. Without him, I don't think I would have had the quality that we have right now. So it was all those years. My partner, I have a company called Bright Night Entertainment that I formed over a decade ago, but this is our first feature film. But my partner, his name is Lou D'Amato, and Lou D'Amato, he's also an actor, and he plays Dr. Park.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You
So,
see?
you see, and I've known him since 2005. And not
It's the
only he's a great actor. I mean, his scenes are fantastic. He was doing. I love seeing putting him in some uncomfortable BDSM situations because it was just fun. Because that's what friends do for friends.
I know.
That's how
Yeah, of
that's how we
course.
do with friends. Yeah. But also he comes from the finance part, so he was able to help me with the financing of the movie and all the stuff that I'm the creative guy. I write and I create. I'm the artist, but he's somebody who understands like contracts and money and that kind of stuff. All the stuff that I don't understand very well.
Yeah, that's
So we're a good
amazing.
team. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we're a good
takes a
team.
village and takes a
Yep.
village
Yep.
and the collaboration with each other and it's amazing. It's amazing. I love
Absolutely.
that. I love
Absolutely.
that. Uh,
What was your favorite scene in the movie? See, now listen, I'm asking the questions now.
I like the last scene,
Oh, the
the
grand
feast,
finale, the
the grand
feast.
finale.
Yep, yep,
And
yes.
I love the scene when I forgot her name, her character name.
Goth girl. We call it goth girl.
Yeah, when she was like reading the tarot cards,
The tarot
and
cards.
I was
Yep,
like, she's so
yep.
fun. She's so fun. I was like,
She's amazing. No, she is the most talked about character. When people are talking about the movie and
yeah,
they see the movie, everybody's like, Goth Girl. I want to talk about Goth Girl. And about the tarot scene, it's just kind of funny because people ask me, how did you know to do the tarot and the meaning of the cards and all of that stuff? Google.
yeah. Just Google and put in order that you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
appear.
yeah.
That's so
People go
funny.
like, "Did you do some like special research?" I'm like, "No, I Google, Google this."
Yeah, but she's amazing. I love it. And then I love
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that I have the
Mhm.
coffin there. I love that. The whole
Yes.
scene is like very cool, like the setting and everything is really cool.
Mhm.
Really cool. I love it.
Yeah, her name is Asia Lynn Pitts, and she plays Goth Girl. She was a friend of ours for many years, but my wife suggested her. She was not in my, I guess, close group of friends, but my wife was like, I think she would be great to be a Goth Girl. And I was just like, yeah, you're right. And she was phenomenal. I mean, she is
That's
so good
great.
in the film. But I like that you really said that you like all the characters. I feel like, Lynn Lowry is amazing, but I feel like we have a very good team
Yeah.
of actors. Everybody did well. Um, and a lot of people, I just hope if you ask me what would you like for the future is I would
Yeah.
like this movie to open doors for everybody,
Yeah.
people who worked in front of the camera and behind the camera.
And behind the camera.
And one thing also that's interesting that you may not know is that we have a very large amount of Brazilians working behind the scenes.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know.
So, and in front of the camera is just me as an actor,
Yeah.
but behind the cameras, I'll give you some examples. Our music composer, Carlos Lazari,
Uh-huh.
de Porto Alegre.
Cool.
Our main producer, Sabrina Percario, from São Paulo. She was the one producing the film on
Yeah.
set and
Awesome.
making sure everything was fine, the rentals, everything. We had very very little VFX, very little, but we had somebody from Brazil, Wesley Costa from Minas Gerais, who helped us with some of the little things that we needed for VFX. And we had many assistants on set from Brazil. Uh, Katia Trindade. She was great. She was helping with food and whatever she could help with, even production design. So we had a big team. I remember when I wrote to Fantaspoa and I really wanted to have a world premiere in Brazil because of that, because we had so many Brazilians involved, and for myself, obviously. I wrote a letter and I listed every single Brazilian person who worked in the film, and I think that helped get us in. So
That's absolutely. That's amazing. Good to know that you put Brazilians there, and I hope your next project you can bring more Brazilians to it.
Absolutely, let's make a party. We'll have samba in the middle of the set.
Caipirinha, caipirinha.
Oh, caipirinhas. Maybe weekends.
That's true. So, Gilly, I just want to thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Vamos nos conhecer pessoalmente soon.
Com certeza, com certeza. Marcamos algo logo.
Vamos. Muito obrigada pelo seu tempo
Thank
e
you
muito
so much.
sucesso. E 10 de setembro, né, que vai estar disponível no, eu disse, September 10th on
September 10th, it will be many
VOD.
platforms, Amazon, Apple TV, Dish. I have a little list here even. So Comcast, On Demand, Dish, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, YouTube, TVOD, which is when you rent or purchase, Xbox, Vudu, Vimeo, and in October we go to Roku, and I think maybe around the same time, October, we may be on Tubi and some other channels.
Amazing. Wow. So let's spread the word. Amazing.
Yes, that's right.
Just thank you so much. If you like to support or continue to support Jana on Camera, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the videos.